The FM24 winter update has been out for a few days now, and with it came a whole batch of new Wonderkids. Now, we've already done a video about players that were already in that bracket, but have now been improved to be even better Wonderkids than before, but today we'll be looking at something different, looking at the new Wonderkids in the game. Either they weren't in the game before, or they were, but their potential just wasn't high enough to be classed as a Wonderkid in game, but now, after some improvements, they can officially be part of that Wonderkid bracket. I feel like I've said Wonderkid a million times, so let's skip this intro and get right into player number one. And our first player is a good example of what I was talking about a second ago actually. This is Cion Suzuki, a Japanese international 20-year-old goalkeeper playing in the Belgian divisions for STVV. Now, he was already in the game, already a good player, but wouldn't have had the potential to be a Wonderkid in your saves. Now though, after the winter update, he can have Wonderkid potential, so he is a brand new Wonderkid to FM24, but he is a very good goalkeeping option, valued at about £8 million or so. Pretty good when it comes to the modern day sweeper keeper aspects to the game as well. 6'3", strong, good jumping reach, a very handy option in the net if you're after one, and he's a Japanese international already at the age of 20, which shows that he does have a lot of promise. A new Wonderkid that you might start seeing in your saves is Ryan Francisco, a £1 or £2 million Wonderkid striker that now has a potential range of 140 to 170, so even on the lower end of that, he is going to be a pretty capable striker. On the higher end, you'll be looking at an elite level player. Now, looking at him straight away, do I think he's going to be the next R9? Probably not, but he does have a very good base set of attributes for only a 16-year-old. By the time he's 17, 18, if he's been given the right development, you could be seeing a player with 15 acceleration, 15 pace, 15 finishing. He's already got good mental attributes as well. There's a lot going for him, and even though he might not be the finished article just yet, with a little bit of growth, I think he could be looking like a very strong striker pretty soon. Now, there is another 17 players to go. That is 7. Let's imagine I added a 10 onto that. 17 players to go in this list, so I'll try and move through it pretty quickly. But before we continue, we just want to ask you guys a massive favour. If you could show your support, it would really help us. If you could scroll down on the video, click the like button, forget you ever did it, but it really does give us a massive boost in the YouTube side of things. And subscribe if you haven't already to the channel as well. We do daily Football Manager content, so make sure you have hit that button. Something for everyone: tutorials, Wonderkids, tactics, anything you need, it's here on the FMSCOUT channel. And finally, one more thing and then I'll shut up, but just to let you guys know, I do have my own channel as well, which you can find linked in the description of this video. So of course, wait for this video to finish, and then if you want to come and check that out, I really would appreciate it. I think you'd really enjoy the content. If you like what we do on FMSCOUT, you'll like that channel as well. More entertainment style, we do some Football Manager rebuilds, as well as YouTube shorts about Wonderkids you might not have heard of. So if that sounds at all interesting, I'd like to see you over there on the channel, but let's get back to the list. And our next player is an Ecuadorian midfielder, 19 years of age, Oscar Zambrano, playing for Liga de Quito, a club out in Ecuador. Now, this has got a Brighton transfer written all over it. They're going to sign him, bring him into their first team, sell him on for £100 million to Chelsea, more than likely. Is this guy the new Moises Caicedo? Maybe not, but he's got great work rate, really good passing ability, long shots, first touch, dribbling, nice physical attributes as well. An absolute bargain at only £2 million or so. 14 under-20 international caps for Ecuador. Pretty much a guaranteed future international for them, I would have thought. Yes, his mentals are lacking in some areas. 5 flair, 1 leadership, 10 determination, but he might look different in your save. Age 19 though, he's looking like a pretty nice option for maybe a championship level side, and at full growth, he could be the real deal in midfield. Another good bargaining option is Nikita Krov, who is a regular starter for Krasnodar out in Russia. Now, this midfielder is 6'1" and very well rounded physically. Is he super quick? Is he super strong? Is he great in the air? No, but he's okay in all areas, which makes him a very nicely rounded midfielder. He's not very defensively minded with only 7 tackling, but he does have some good marking, great passing ability and work rate, really good off the ball work, 19 determination, first touch, dribbling, can even hit a set piece as well. A technical midfielder that kind of is a base mold to build up from, and what I mean by that is he's not particularly amazing in any singular area, but he is very well rounded, and that might be why central midfielder on the attack duty is his suggested role, because he is very well rounded. But these kind of players are great because you can mold them to whatever you want for your team. If you want him to be a box-to-box, you can start developing him there, and he already will start off with good attributes in a lot of areas. So this is the kind of player that could be a great pickup for you for about 5 million. Definitely one to check out after the winter update. Up next, we have the most famous player on this list. It's Oscar Bob, who now has a very high potential. He did not before. He wasn't even classed as a wonder kid before the winter update. Now, that is strange because usually with a player at a team like Man City, you know when they've got a good player coming through, but I don't think many people had really heard of him outside of a Manchester City circle, and now, of course, he's this player that Pep Guardiola is using quite often, and I imagine he's going to keep bleeding him in the next few years until he becomes a very regular part of that Man City side. He's 19 years of age, versatile in a bunch of positions, great attributes all around, a technically gifted player who I think should have even better first touch and dribbling than what he's got here. He scored a brilliant goal about a month ago where he just showed insane first touch and dribbling ability, but the 19-year-old has great potential, great starting ability, maybe one to try and loan from Man City early on because he is quite highly valued, but Man City maybe won't use him straight away, only a breakthrough prospect, so definitely one to check out now. Oscar Bob, a very talented player who's going to be appearing a lot more in your FM saves. Up next is Gerard Lopez of Sampdoria out in Italy. Now, he has had a boost to his potential as well, and because of that, he's now wanted by some pretty big Premier League teams as well as some giants in Italy as well, clearly attracting a lot of attention. At the age of 20, it's pretty unusual for these players to get a big boost in their potential, but he must have really came to the forefront this season. I don't know much about him in real life personally, but in game, he's a 5'7" defensive midfielder, not very good in the physical aspects of the game, but he's a very good passer of the ball who can tackle well, good marking, first touch as well. Maybe he's the kind of guy that's going to dictate the tempo, and those physical attributes, as bad as they might look right now, they could definitely work themselves out in the next year or so. But that's Gerard Lopez, and if you want him, you're going to have to act fast before one of these clubs signs him. Staying in Italy now, we have Juventus's Tomaso Barberi, who they've loaned out to Pisa in the second division of the Italian football pyramid. This is a young right back who's valued at about £5 million or so. He's got good work rate and there's balance going forward as he is in the defensive phase as well, maybe more defensive minded than he is forward thinking, but a very nice option actually in a position where it is pretty hard to find those top level wonder kids. There's a good chance he's going to play for Pisa while he's out on loan there. Pizza, not like the food, Pisa, let me try and get that right. Then he's going to return to Juve, and then I imagine there's a pretty good chance they won't ever give him a crack in their first team when managed by an AI manager. So keep your eyes on him, scout him, and when that loan's done, he might be available to buy. Whether his price will go up a lot, I don't know, but he's definitely one to check out now that he can be classed as a wonder kid. I've got the Germany shirt on here, and we have a German goalkeeper as our next player. This is Ernst, whose name I've definitely butchered. He is a goalkeeper for Hertha Berlin out in the second division of German football. I actually did a Football Manager rebuild on my own channel with Hertha, and I think he was our goalkeeper for at least 3 seasons or so, and did develop quite nicely. In your save though, he's got even higher potential now after the winter update, giving him an even better chance of turning into a top level goalkeeper. He's only £5 million or so, an under 18 international at the age of 20, with attributes good enough to start in the second division of the Bundesliga with one of the biggest sides in that league in Hertha, already classed as a first choice goalkeeper there. So give him some time, let him develop. I imagine Hertha will use him for a good couple of years, and by that point he might be a 22-year-old goalkeeper with very well-rounded attributes that you're able to pick up and help fulfill his potential. Whilst we're in Germany, there's no point taking a flight to another country, so we're now going to FC Dusseldorf, who have a player on loan from Copenhagen. This is Isaac Johansson. He's an Icelandic midfielder that's been around the game for a few years. I think we might have even done a Wonderkids superstar on him a couple of years ago. So he has had potential in the past, but wasn't looking the best this year in game. After the winter update though, he's been given a fixed potential rating, meaning in every save he's going to have the same potential. I won't ruin it for you by showing you the in-game editor. I know a lot of people don't like it spoiled, but let's just say it's between 140 and 150. So every save he's going to have the potential to be a good level Bundesliga player, and you can sign him for only a few £1,000,000 from Copenhagen. He does have an optional future fee at Dusseldorf for 1.7 mil. You assume they're going to take that, and then you're going to have to sign him off Dusseldorf, but who knows, maybe they don't have the money to sign him, he goes back to Copenhagen, and then you might be able to get him on a bargain deal. So keep your eyes on him, scout him, see how he develops. He could be a great player now after the winter update. And I think our last player in the German divisions is Ernie Engel, who is a 19-year-old Belgian midfielder who's playing for Augsburg. Previously at Club Brugge, now he's a regular for a German top-flight club. Very well-rounded attributes for a 19-year-old, arguably one of the more talented players that we've seen in this this list. He's super versatile, but does like to play in that midfield role with that work rate. Maybe a box-to-box midfielder would be best for him. It's suggesting ball-winning midfielder here. With only 10 tackling and 9 marking and 10 positioning, I'm not quite sure that's right for him, but he's very well-rounded in all areas, so one that you could try and pick up for about 10 million should you want him. Or maybe, if you want a cheaper option, then you might want to check out Alesandro Biano, who is a midfielder back in Italy playing for Fiorentina, but he is currently out on loan at Reggiana in the 2nd division of Italy, and I assume once he goes back to Fiorentina, he won't be classed as good enough for their team, so he might be available to sign, and it looks like his value is pretty low here, only 2 or 3 million quid. He's defensive minded, but definitely has the passing ability to dictate tempo for your team, and does actually have that as a trait. 5'9", 14 vision, 14 technique, 14 passing, very good attributes for a player in the 2nd tier, and for that kind of price, you really can't go wrong, particularly now that he also has a fixed potential. One of the cheapest players in this list though, and our final goalkeeper, is Kyodo Bankole, who's playing for Remo Stars out in Nigeria, I believe they are. Yes, they are a Nigerian club, and this is a Nigerian goalkeeper with international appearances, wanted by Porto here. Not the world's best keeper, but actually, as far as the old style traditional goalkeeping attributes go, he's got 14 handling, he's got 14 reflexes, he's got good aerial reach and command of his area. Yes, he's not the best kicker with pretty poor first touch and passing, but you can definitely work around that. For £1 million or so, he is an absolute bargain, and I imagine he will be willing to sign for you. He's got about 1.5 years on his contract, where they're paying him 140 quid a week, which, considering he's playing in the Nigerian international team, seems pretty low, and I think it's going to be a good chance for you to sweep him up before it's too late and he costs a lot more than this. Dinamo Zagreb's Wonderkid factory continues with the production of Maro Perkovic, who is now a 20-year-old regular starter for Dinamo's first team, so there's a good chance you will be seeing him progressing and getting better in your save because he is already a regular player for them. He's only valued at around 4 million, £3 million or so, a 6'1" defender with good strength and jumping reach, decent pace and acceleration as well. The marking is there, the tackling and the work rate too. Good positioning on top of that. Yes, he isn't the best in the ball playing sense. Despite 12 passing, he only has 10 technique, 10 first touch and 9 vision. Outside of that, he is a very good player. Left-footed centre-backs are harder to come by, and he is also pretty handy in that left-back slot, so one to take a look at in your save. Being at Zagreb as well, there's a good chance he will be in most of your saves, and you won't need a huge database to have him there. Up next is another Brazilian player. This is Vitto of Palmeiras. For about 1 million, you can pick up a 17-year-old centre-back who, despite having some pretty poor attributes in this save, could look good in yours. Here though, he's got poor acceleration, only 5 strength, 10 tackling, doesn't look like the best, but he is really good in some areas: heading, marking, positioning, pace and jumping reach, so there is something to work with. In this save in particular, I might avoid him, but he could fluctuate in terms of his attributes in your save, so he is now one to scout and check out, because I don't think Palmeiras will ever give him a chance to develop, so it might be down to you to sign him if you want to fulfill that potential. And the same goes for William Gomez, who's a 17-year-old left winger playing in Brazil, £5 million or so, very good physical attributes, very direct, has 13 dribbling and 13 flair, good off the ball work, passing, first touch, free kicks and technique. Isn't the world's best just yet, but now has the potential to become a much better player than what he did before. And we're getting close to the end of this list now, so make sure you have liked the video if you've got any use out of it or enjoyed it. 4 players to go. This one is PQ, whose name I've definitely butchered, but he is a 20-year-old Spanish midfielder playing for Racing Santander in the 2nd division of Spain, valued at about 2 million. He is already an important player for them, and you can see why. Technically, he is awesome. 15 passing, 14 technique, 15 first touch, 13 dribbling, really good mental and physical attributes as well for a player that is only 5'6", a very good attacking midfielder for that price. It won't be long before he is tearing it up in the Spanish divisions if you don't sign him. Valencia's Fran Perez has also seen an upgrade to the point where he can now be classed as a Wonderkid in-game. £10 million would net you a 20-year-old winger who can play on either side, very good acceleration, really nice first touch and dribbling as well, can cross as good as he can finish, good passing as well. This is a very good player actually. Able to play on the left or right. If you're a low-level Premier League team, this could be a very good player to go for. 2 players to go. Our penultimate player is Alessio Buttaro. He's playing for Palermo in the 2nd division of Italy, a centre-back who can play right-back. 13 crossing, 12 dribbling, good long throws as well, marking, passing. He's got a lot going for him and is definitely a very good bargaining option at about 3 or 4 million. If you're in Serie A in Italy maybe, this could be a very good pickup for you. And our final player player is Nasser Dejiga. I don't know if I've pronounced that right, but he is a 20-year-old Burkina Faso international on loan from FC Basel, playing for Crvena Zvezda, who I believe are Red Star Belgrade. He's 6'2", 16 strength, really good physically, good heading ability as well. Another one where ball playing isn't the best part of his game, but he is very good with both feet, either footed actually. Not much technique and passing ability, but 12 marking, 13 tackling, good work rate. He is going to be a very good centre-back for, say, a low-level Premier League team, high-level Championship team, if you give him the chance to develop. And that is our list complete of the new Wonderkids from the FM24 Winter Update. There are more than these, so if you want to know some more, let us know, and we can make a part 2 to this. We wanted to do the upgraded players first, because there's definitely some more talented options in that list, but in this list here, you've got a lot of players who you probably have never heard of before, and I imagine after a bit of playing in this Winter Update, you'll be seeing these guys' faces popping up a lot more and doing some big things in your save now that they have Wonderkid potential. Thank you for watching, I'll see you next time, goodbye.